What's up, Vault Hunters? It's Echo here, Queen of the Loot Goblins, bringing you another Borderlands 3 video. Hey y'all, I am so excited to finally bring you my new build, level 60 Angel of Death. I know some of you were eagerly awaiting this, and I'm so happy to finally bring this out for you guys today. After playing and testing and bossing and messing around, we are literally putting up record-breaking numbers. Like, this is the most damage I've done yet. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to let you guys know that in my Discord, we will be doing a build giveaway for this on Xbox. I'm so sorry, PC and PS4 players, I don't have a save file or PS4 gear, but if anyone out there has this build on PC or PS4 and would like to help my community and our Discord get this stuff on PC or PS4, please hit me up on Discord. I'll leave the link for the Discord below. Also, we have trading sections, so you can go ahead and try to get the build, the gear for this build in there. One more thing before we get started. Right now in my Discord, we are giving away 2 Amazon gift cards. So be sure you're in the Discord and react to the post in Echo's Loot Cave for your chance to win. I'm going to talk about the skills and how they all sync together, but before we get into that, here's a screenshot of the trees to copy down ahead of time. Let's begin at the top of the Fist of Elements tree and talk a little bit about Anima. I had some comments on my last video about going down due to a random status effect on Amara, and I'd like to address that now. What we know from Anima's card is that this skill is buffing up our status effect damage and duration. Now, something that's not on the card is the status effect damage also applies to us. I call it the Amara dot. This can down you from time to time. What I do to counter it is just shoot enemies to gain lifesteal from our sustainment skill. If you are having too much trouble with Anima being too strong for you, you do have a choice. Take some points out of Anima and put them into Wildfire. You'll be doing less damage, but going down should be less of an issue. Next up is Infusion and Forceful Expression. These 2 skills have a hidden bonus for Amara. They each create another beam or pellet for our multi-pelleted weapons, such as the Recursion, the Reflux, the Root, or King and Queen's Calls. If you choose next to Mag's Anointment for these guns, that creates another pellet. Also, the elemental bonus on our Shield and Nade also create another pellet. With these skills and anointments, we are getting 5 extra pellets. This is why using the Recursion on Amara pretty much breaks the game. Here's an example of the King's Call and what the extra pellets look like. Each pellet is doing 100% damage. This is why we are taking full advantage of as many pellets as we can, and again, why we're putting 1 point into Infusion and of course Forceful Expression. Now for my favorite skill of all time. Everyone always questions this choice and tells me it's worthless, until I explain the why. If you already use Angel of Death, you already know how this works, but first timers, brace yourself. So the card reads, whenever Amara applies a status effect to an enemy, she gains the chance to randomly electrocute, ignite, or melt that enemy. This paired with Violent Tapestry allows you to have shock, instant, and corrosive status effects all the time. Let's talk about Violent Tapestry quickly. So Violent Tapestry, for every rush that consumed, Amara's status effect chance is increased. And since we can consume 99 stacks, we are constantly applying a status effect. So Violent Tapestry and Conflux go hand in hand. Now with Conflux taking care of the Shock, Fire, and Corrosive dot, pair that with a Cryo and Rad bonus anointed Shield and Nade, and this is allowing you to now apply 5 status effects without any effort in mixing and matching, such as like a next to max gun or an infused weapon, stuff like that. You're all the time doing 5 status effects. Now, if you're saying, okay, so what? You're doing 5 elements. There's a lot of reason that you want to do 5 elements. Number 1 is the more status effects you're going to get, the more damage you're going to get, the more damage over time you're going to get per status effect on that enemy. Also, with Violent Tapestry maxed out, you don't even need to use a cryo weapon and it freezes enemies. And as far as the rest of the 4 elements, we aren't just doing piddly damage. We are actually doing massive amounts of damage. And this is all from the help of Anima, Tempest, Forceful Expression, Laid Bare, and Personal Space. These 5 elements are putting up some serious numbers in the hundreds of thousands each. And if that's not enough, I'd like to turn your attention to the Guardian perk, Harmageddon. This gives us 5% more damage per unique status effect, and this is damage from any source. Since we are taking full advantage of all of the elements, we are getting 25% more overall damage. And this is what sets this build apart from all the others. We are taking full advantage that Amara is an elementalist. As you can see in this example, we are doing 5 different elements, all in high values. These add up to millions, if not billions of damage, all thanks to our powerhouse elemental perks we've just discussed. Conflux, as well as maxing out Violent Tapestry, is well worth it in my opinion. Before we get into our Mystical Assault tree, let's talk about our only perk we elected in the Brawl tree, and that's Personal Space. We chose this not only to boost our overall damage, but this perk falls into the V2 category of Amara's damage formula. It also does 54% bonus damage. The card is a little bit off when it's telling you 36%. This has been tested by multiple sources. Now moving into our Mystical Assault tree. I really had to rework the Mystical Assault tree as Do Harm no longer works with Ties That Bind. That is going to be our action skill, and we'll talk about that in a minute. If you aren't familiar with rush stacks, please feel free to watch my video on rush stacks explained for further information. I'll link you at the top of the video now and at the end of the video. Starting with Violent Tapestry, we've already talked about that it freezes enemies without even using a cryo weapon, but check out what it does when you're actually using a cryo weapon. This is just another reason why I've maxed Violent Tapestry out. Now, moving on to Fast Hands. Fast Hands paired with Alacrity is going to give us an increase in reload speed. Now, Alacrity works with rush stacks, but Fast Hands gives us reload speed, weapon swap speed, and mode switch speed. So we are going to be reloading like crazy people, and I'm so glad that I was kind of able to move points around from Do Harm and Awakening so that we can put more points into Fast Hands and Alacrity, because I really enjoy these perks. Now we do have 1 point into Do Harm, and this is just to create rush stacks, because every time you kill an enemy, it's going to grant you a rush stack. So that's just going to make sure that we have max rush stacks all the time. The next skill I want to talk about is Transcend. Now, this skill not only gives us 38% accuracy, but it's also giving us a critical hit damage increase of 27%. Now, because we are going to the capstone of the Mystical Assault tree, that's going to allow us to proc our action skill twice per cooldown. So if we time it right, we are proccing Transcend twice, giving us a 54% increase in critical hit damage. I'm also really excited that we got this level cap because it allowed us to put points in from rest. Now, I'm a huge fan of Mallow on weapons. I always have been. So the fact that I can get an increased fire rate and charge speed is absolutely insane. This is great for the recursion, the root, the flipper, any Mallow on weapon that has a charge speed. This is going to be beautiful on. The next skill I want to talk to you guys about is Remnant. We only need 1 point in Remnant. We're just looking to create a homing projectile. So when you kill an enemy with a gun or action skill, Amara creates a homing projectile that seeks out a new enemy, dealing her action skill element damage. Any overkill damage is added to the projectile's damage. So I'll show you an example now. Using this build, the flipper, and Remnant, we get over 1 billion damage. That's just broken, to say the least. The last skill that I want to touch on is Avatar. Avatar is our capstone in the Mystical Assault tree. It gives us a bonus rush stacks of 10, bringing our grand total rush stacks to 25. This is going to create more damage. But the focus of Avatar is that we get 2 action skills per cooldown. So this is huge, especially when proccing Transcend. Now let's talk about our action skill. We are using Ties That Bind. This is going to link targets to our grasped enemies. And for our augment, I'm in love with Stillness of Mind. It has a great radius and literally picks up all nearby targets. And virtually, with one bullet, we destroy everything. And as for the element, it's completely up to you and the content that you're involved in at the moment. This build is not gun dependent, so whatever you find working for you now will be fine for this build. As for my best in slot, I'm really enjoying the Complex Brute. The Flipper is by far my favorite gun right now. It's a Malawan. I love Malawans. It can switch from element to element. I just absolutely love this gun right now. The recursion is excellent with the next 2 mags. It can cause your game to crash, so I would suggest maybe switching this out for a reflux, but if you don't have that problem, go ahead and use the recursion if you'd like. And the Monarch. All 4 of these guns are pretty much my go-to. I do use the Sandhawk a little bit when I'm bossing. As for the shield that we are using, I prefer using the Old God with the bonus Cryo Anointment. The Old God is just the best for Amara right now because it gives us an extra 20% bonus element on the card. Also, it gives us elemental resistance. This will help with the Amara dot. As for the passives, they aren't really important. Personally, I love Turtle or Absorb, but again, the passives don't really matter. Also, when farming for this shield, don't worry about what element you get for the 20% because we are utilizing Conflux and taking advantage of all the elements. So this 20% is just a bonus to one of the 5 status effects we're doing. Also, I'll link you the farm for the Old God at the top of the screen and at the end of the video. As for our nade, I like to use the P nade with a bonus radiation as the anointment, and this is so we can get 5 elements due to Conflux giving us 3 and our nade and shield giving us the other 2. As far as bossing, I like to throw on a Hunter Seeker nade because the Hunter Seeker nade shoots out bullets, and this is going to help us proc our Pearl when we're bossing and we don't have any other enemies to shoot. The other shield that I like to use is the Transformer. I put this on when I'm doing the Malawan takedown, or if I have a middle modifier with Pool Party, this just helps out with that. As for our artifact, we are still using the Pearl with fire rate and magazine size. That's just going to be the best damage we can get. And as for our comm, we are using the Phasezerker. Now this is the focal point of this build. One thing that I would like to point out is we did not put any points into Restless. That gives us, at max points, 25% action skill cooldown rate. Well, this comm gives us 1% action skill cooldown rate per rush stack. So we are utilizing 25 stacks of rush, giving us 25% action skill cooldown rate. So if you get one of these comms with action skill cooldown rate as a passive, that's giving up to, at level 60, another 36% action skill cooldown rate. This, paired with Avatar, our capstone, is giving us 2 action skills per cooldown. And I feel that putting points into Restless when you have a calm with a passive action skill cooldown rate is really a waste of 5 points. I don't really see the need to put any points into there. And not to mention, the Guardian rank perk topped off makes our cooldown very, very low. As far as like if you want to talk God roll Phasezerker passives, I would say get yourself an action skill cooldown rate, a splash damage, and I would throw in the new action skill damage on your passives because that is the only thing that's going to buff up Ties That Bind at the moment. Okay guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're not subbed, please hit that sub button and turn notifications on. It's free and it really helps the channel and my growth. So for now, I'll leave you with this Wotan kill, and as always, happy looting. I'm gonna die. No.
FRAG OUT!
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Oh my god. Okay. We killed the bottom half. Oh my god, that was so much freaking damage. Oh my gosh. If you want to catch these videos live, you can find me at twitch.tv/jadedecho_ or subscribe to my YouTube channel and be up to date with each video.